So let me get this straight. When a country takes over its own oil reserves, right, its own resources, when a country does this, when they take their resources from a company that is extracting those resources for themselves, okay, when a country does that, that's stealing. But when America fucking raids an oil tanker, takes control of it, and sails it to wherever the fuck they feel like, that's not stealing. Gotcha. Anyway, Merry Christmas. Time to react to Nux Talk, dude. Let's go. Yes. Yes.
Chocolate Donuts said just don't get it on Steam. It's free on Game Pass. And be sure to get Hogwarts Legacy before it's gone.
I will be sure to not do that.
Chocolate
I will be
Donuts
sure
said,
to
I thought
specifically
you said
to
you were
not
done
do
with
that.
him, LMAO.
No, I said I was done with actual Justice Warrior, Donut. And actually, I did almost react to an actual Justice Warrior video today because he released something. I forgot what it was already, but it was kind of somewhat interesting. Oh, it was about Erica Kirk and Clandis Owens. We are going to cover
Chocolate
the Clandis
Donuts
Owens
said
stuff.
one of the comments called you Jeffree Star. You look nothing like that bitch.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah. Yeah, I think I responded to him. Yeah, I can't even remember what Jeffree Star looks like. I believe he, like, sexually assaulted someone or something. He's canceled, okay, canceled. Gen Z'd. Okay, he got Gen Z'd. But anyway, that commenter was, he might as well have just said, like, you're gay, LOL. You're gay. Like, that you could have just done that.
Someone clearly posted your link.
No, man, nobody posted it. It couldn't be. Cause the analytics. The analytics said it was from recommendations. So it's impossible. It's impossible.
Chocolate Donuts asks you have over 60 comments. How did they all fall under your video in one day?
Well, I uploaded it, and one thing that you might not know about YouTube is you're gonna get most of your views typically within the first 24 hours. Okay, so within 24 hours of posting a video, you're gonna get probably like 90% of your views. I mean, I'm like, guessing, but something like 90%. Okay. Now, the reason why is because when you post a video, YouTube will kind of show it to a few people, okay, and they'll see if someone clicks on it, okay, and they'll start recommending it to more people. So the more people that click on your video, the more they recommend it to people, and then those people click on it, and then they recommend it to more people, and that's why, and they push your video. They'll your video will be in the algo for about 24 hours, and then you'll see like a sharp decline in the views on that video, especially if it gets negative reception. Okay, so what happens when one of my videos blows up is I get a lot of hate comments, I get a lot of dislikes.
Chocolate Donuts said, gotcha.
Yeah, and I get a lot of dislikes, and I think that probably like shortens the slightly, not a lot. The thing about negativity on YouTube is it doesn't kill you. It doesn't kill. Like, there are a lot of content creators that their audience is full of hate watchers. It's full of people that are just watching to hate. Okay, there are lots of YouTubers like this, and they know it. Okay, they do it on purpose because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really affect you. In fact, if you know how to abuse that emotion, then it can help you. But anyway, what it does mean, though, is that when you get a lot of negative reception, I think YouTube probably stops recommending it to people sooner, even if only slightly. I could be wrong. I'm speculating. Because when it comes to the algorithm on any of these websites, it's mostly guesswork. You know, we're working with very limited information. Anyway, let's keep going.
They're testing the waters. Their fleets are getting destroyed. The media is running defense for these guys. The liftards are crashing out. No, these mighty narco-terrorists are not. This is one of the craziest timelines ever. Now, I am a big fan of blowing up terrorists. Now, I know that might sound like I have no heart, but in reality, I have a lot of heart. Specifically for the people I love. Yeah. Like my close family, and then my neighbors, and my friends, and then my country, and then people that are victims of terrorism. And terrorists are not there, all right? I want full divine Saddam and Gomorrah treatment to these motherfuckers. So base this shit. All right, let's go. Let's see Trump's response. I know you seized the tanker, but what's gonna happen to the oil? Now get ready for the most orange man response of all time. Bro has still got it. Keep it, I guess. We will keep it, I guess. Absolute cinema. See, that's the price you pay. I personally agree with this take. But what is it? It's stealing. No. It's payment for our services of obliterating your terrorists. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Based as fuck.
No. Words have meaning. Okay, it is stealing. It's stealing because we took it without... We didn't pay for it. We just took it. Like, this is straight up, like, gang shit, okay? This is like... This is just gang shit, okay? Like, the government is a gang. Okay, and they use the military a couple days ago, or the day before, or whatever, okay, to steal an entire fucking oil tanker full of oil. Because that was always the plan. That's what it's all about. Okay, I was talking, I think the day before yesterday, about how our entire lives as Americans were told that Colombia manufactures the drugs, okay, Pablo Escobar, yada yada, and Mexico is like a buffer between Colombia and the United States, and Mexico smuggling all the drugs, okay? And then it's like, oh, well, why are we going to war with Venezuela, okay? And the answer is Venezuela has oil. They have lots of oil. That's it. It's just a fucking excuse. And anyway, that's what this was all about. That's what this is all about. They stole the oil tanker. First of all, the oil tanker that they stole has been in use for I think like 25 years or something. It's quite an old tanker. I think. I mean, I'm not an expert on like oil transportation, but yeah, man, they fucking stole it. I don't know how you can see it as anything other than stealing when you take something from someone without permission, whether you think they owe it to you or not. That's stealing. That's fucking stealing. What are we talking about? What?
Follow it. Get a helicopter. Follow the tanker. But I assume we're gonna keep the oil.
Why should we give it back? Why should we give the oil back to a regime that is plotting our destruction and trying to kill us? Like, explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. Why we should return the oil? Oh man, I just think he's completely correct. Bro's a businessman. He knows what's up. I think this is just the objectively correct opinion. This is what we call the booty of war. All right, you destroy the orcs and you collect their loot. Okay, why should we give it back? America is so back, man. But what about? But it originally belonged to Venezuela. Yeah, I'm sorry.
What he's describing here is a process that America, the United States, and other countries as well, but mainly the United States, has done over and over and over again. Okay, we start wars, we make money off of selling the weapons, we make money off of growing our GDP, right, growing the economy, because what does America produce? We produce weapons. That's pretty much all we produce. That's like all of our domestic manufacturing. Is in arms manufacturing. Okay, so we manufacture arms, we sell them, we create conflicts to sell more of them, and then we get involved with conflicts and we plunder the country that we are going to war with for whatever they got, for any natural resources, which is always oil. It's always fucking oil. Okay, that's what it is every time.
Executed a seizure warrant for a crude oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Oh well, we have to confiscate it. I'm so sorry about that. Used to transport sanctioned oil from Venezuela and Iran. That's right. It's all of our best boys, and all one is dead working together. The tanker has been used in recent years.
Yeah. So what's crazy about this is like their reasoning for doing this. Okay, because usually what America would say is like, oh, the boat had drugs on it. We had to take it. Like, this is what they would say in the past. Okay, they would try to cover it up. They would say like, oh no, like we thought there were drugs on the boat, so we took it, and it just so happens to have all this oil, and I guess we'll keep it. You know, I don't know. You know, like this is what we would do. But now it's just like, Venezuela wanted to sell this oil to a country that we do not like, so we stole it. Okay. So that is not a reason to do something like this. This is a huge escalation. Once again, another huge escalation from the U.S. government. Stole an entire fucking oil tanker because we don't like Iran. That's not a reason to do this, man. I feel like I'm going insane, man. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
We show up, we decide to appear, here we are, we drop down our guys are on board, our guys take the fleet, they take the tanker, they drop him on, Hassan Piker is crying because he only likes seeing footage of terrorists capturing boats, but as you can see, our boys are on the boat, they enter the tanker,
got him,
and quite unfortunately for the terrorists, they basically put up no actual defense to this, and now it's ours, that's our new boat, that's our new oil tanker.
Yeah, it's almost like there were no terrorists on the boat because nobody said that there were terrorists on the boat because there were no terrorists on the boat, and they didn't even try to lie about it like they usually would in the past and say that there were terrorists on the boat. They just fucking took it. And then like didn't even try to lie about it. They're just like, yeah, we did it. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's based. Yep. Okay, man. Okay.
We just redistributed, okay? New fishing location unlocked. Thank you for redistributing your oil to us, actually. Thank you very much. Very cool. So I fully support this. But no, it's not actually ours. It is now, motherfucker. It is now. I'm so tired of watching people run defense for terrorists. It's crazy. So, anyway, now they're attacking Trump. But Trump, they're not releasing, why are we releasing footage of the strike against the oil? Maybe Pete Hegseth is a war criminal, Trump. They're still trying to get him with that.
Has Secretary Hegseth told you why he hasn't released the video of the second strike?
No.
Get ready for the response, because it's the only way to deal with these people.
He hasn't told me. I thought that issue was dead. You're surprised you bring it up. You must be CNN.
Longer still
Are you
talking about it on the
CNN?
Hill.
Are you CNN?
I am CNN.
Oh, sure, fine.
This story's
Clinton
dead. Why are you
News
CNN?
Network.
Are you a CNN? Yes. Wow. So shocking. Wow.
You're still talking about it on the Hill.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know about it.
Woke-tard.
You don't press the button about trying to release
I
it.
mean, the people that you work for, the Democrats?
He's so right. Oh, God. I'm so happy that no one's taking him seriously. Dude, I'm so happy that this is our timeline, man. I am so happy that this is our timeline, dude.
You know you work for the Democrats, don't you? You're basically an arm
You're
of...
supposedly objective news, supposedly an objective news source, but you're just an actual propaganda wing of the Democrats.
Don't you? You're basically an arm of the Democrat Party. Thank you very much, everybody.
He's so right. He's just, dude, President Trump has unlocked a new level of no fucks given. I've never seen this before. I have never actually seen this before, but he gives no shits anymore. All right, now let's arrest a bunch of Democrats. That's what I support. But not going after political opponents? Yes. No one is above the law. Even Trump's political opponents. Literally lock him up. Don't care. All right, let's do that, please, ASAP. So, anywho, I think this was...
Damn, it is so surprising that this person is saying this. Wow. Wow, incredible. For anybody that is somehow not seeing it, Donald Trump is not doing very good. He is not okay. Like over the last few weeks, like look at him. Look at him. He looks worse than ever. Okay, and I said that last week, and I meant it, and it was true, and I said it the week before, and like he just keeps getting worse, dog. Like I feel like he's decomposing in front of us. I don't know what they did to like, because I think he's dead. Okay, and they like reanimated him or something. They used like magic or some shit. They lightning bolted his body, Frankenstein style. Okay, I don't know, or Frankenstein or whatever the fuck. Like, dude, he's like, it looks like his skin is about to slide off of his body. What the fuck is going on, man? This is so crazy. Oh no, not Mr. Wonderful, or whatever his name is.
Running defense for the Venezuelan terrorists. You can't make it up. Like, it's the most indefensible positions of all time, but Trump is bad, so obviously you have to take that stance. So this is her running defense for Venezuelan terrorists.
Dude, look at that chrome. Look at his head, bro.
Also, to hear what she has to say.
We interdict the drugs, they collect the evidence, and in many cases, they try these individuals and bring them to justice. Why can't we do that now?
So what I've learned from all this is not the first time this has happened. Don't get on a boat with drugs in it. You get blown up. That's what I've learned from this. And I think at the end of the day, the administration was elected to stop the inflow of drugs that are killing Americans. I think they're doing that. We're having a very healthy debate about it. But basically, no one's debating
Fuck
drugs
you.
Venezuela's sending drugs out everywhere.
Fuck you and fuck Mark Cuban. Okay, fuck them both. Anyway, I wonder why they are not releasing the video of the second strike on these innocent fishermen who were allegedly on a boat that was full of drugs that was blown up, and all the drugs were blown up, and there's no evidence. Oops.
Transfer
Sorry.
out of a boat and win. Who knows? But if you're on a boat full of drugs,
Yeah.
you get blown up.
That's right.
And I think this may have
Yeah,
some
man.
drug dealers saying, maybe I want to slow down on the boat drug stuff, which is really what the
You know,
government
I disagree with him. I disagree with Kevin O'Leary here. Not just like because the boat didn't have drugs on it, which it probably didn't. Okay, 99% chance, in my opinion. But I don't think that if you get on a boat with drugs, that means that you should be blown up. I don't think that. I disagree with that. I think if you get on a boat with drugs, this is going to be a hot take, I think that you should not be blown up by our government. That's what I think. I think that if anything, at most, our government could, raid the boat, make arrest, okay, not fucking blow it up because you think there might be drugs on it. What the fuck?
They interdict the drugs, they collect the evidence, and in many cases they try.
I feel like I'm living in crazy
Well,
land.
this is not the first time it's happened. Don't get on a boat with drugs.
He's right.
You get blown up. That's what I've learned from this. And I think at the end of the
I just love this response, dude. It's an actual perfect response. Listen, just don't get on the Venezuelan terrorist drug boats and you won't get blown up. This is the solution, actually. It's like, but what about actually trying to get them in front of a jury at a trial? Are you fucking retarded? You're retarded, lady. They're on a drug boat. They're drug smugglers. Even if they're innocent people, even if they are innocent Venezuelans that happen to be on a drug trafficking narco-terrorist cartel boat, you get blown up, actually. Yes. Maybe you won't drug traffic next time. It's actually a pretty reasonable stance, I think. Like, this is the 1 + 1 = 2. This is the play stupid games, win stupid prizes of all time. And it's truly incredible. It's incredible. And he's just like you go on drug boats, you get blown up. It's that simple, actually. And the leftoids, they're trying their absolute best to run defense for this shit. So now there's a ceasefire in Gaza. All right. So recently it was actually discovered, massive discovery in Gaza, that turns out Hamas hid tons of baby formula to damage Israel with starvation claims. They literally starved their own babies to blame Israel. Hamas civilians found that, Palestinian civilians found that Hamas was hiding baby formula. Like, it was an entirely manufactured starvation. It was a manufactured starvation, manufactured Israeli targeting women and children. Like, the numbers came out. It's completely been proven fake. There was no genocide.
Yeah,
there was no
yeah,
starvation.
New York Post. Yeah, man. Yeah, what a reliable news source when it comes to Israel-Palestine. The New York Post. Yeah, man. For those of you that don't know, the New York Post is probably like it's a very pro-Israel outlet. Okay, it always has been. If I'm not mistaken, they denied the famine even because like now these guys are saying like, oh, the starvation, it was happening, but it was Hamas doing it. But they weren't saying that before. Okay, they were outright denying the starvation. And of course, the reason for that is that Israel was doing it. They were doing the Israel regime. The apartheid state was starving the Palestinian population on purpose. And the New York Post denied this. Yep. Charlie Kirk denied this as well. You know? It's worth mentioning.
Starvation. Yes, it was brutal, and a lot of buildings were destroyed, and there was collateral damage. That's what happens when you start a war and lose. So Hamas, like, it's funny how just comically evil Hamas is. They start a war, they rape people, they capture babies, they murder babies, they capture humans, they hide behind human shields, they starve their own people, and well, I mean that's essentially what we're actually at. That's what we're actual territorialization does there. But it didn't stop all the leftoids from defending it. But now that this ended, all right, now that this ended, it's crazy. Now all of a sudden, let's start protesting something else.
Not a penny, not a dollar. We will pay for war and slaughter.
No! Leave my narco-terrorists alone! No! No! Patch update, the NPCs found something else to protest here, and they're still wearing the fucking Palestine casitas. They're still wearing the Palestine shit. They're carrying Palestine flags, protesting for Venezuela! Bro, this is the most obviously paid protest of all time. Like, this is the most manufactured outrage I've ever seen in my entire life! Like, these are actual NPCs! These are non-player cats. Venezuela, free Palestine or something, I don't know. I heard that that Israel's starving babies there or something. Wee! Like, actually levels of retardation that I would have never expected. If my job wouldn't be looking for cringe news to cover, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't know that this was happening. This is the most retarded thing. It's like, re-brainwash yourself into our talking points. Like, this is the craziest thing of all time. It's actually insane. And now that the pretendicide is over in Gaza, they had to figure something else. They had to figure something else to yell and scream about. Because all the protests against Gaza, they never give a shit about Gaza. Dude, Hamas started a war and lost miserably. Like every other war that happens, in regards to the Palestinians. They all get started by Palestinians, and then they lose, and they cry. And that's essentially what happened here. But it's 2 years of non-stop screaming, because essentially the party of bitching just wanted to destroy the West. Essentially, that's exactly what we're looking at. They just wanted to destroy Western civilization. And they used Palestine, now using Venezuela, and and you know they literally have to find a new thing to stream and cry about. Anyway, apparently the cartel tested the border.
The West has fallen.
And the cartel army was wiped off the map. So lock in, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a level of FAFO I don't think I've ever seen. Imagine screaming and crying that narco-terrorists were killed and that we're stealing their oil. Get the fuck out.
Will the United States greenlight land strikes on Venezuela? And is it planning to oust Nicolas Maduro as he claims?
How can I answer a question like that? Are there plans for a strike on Venezuela?
So he said that we are stealing the oil from terrorists. That's not true. Okay, that's not true. We stole the oil from a sovereign nation. Okay, a country. These two things are not the same thing.
Who would say that?
So as the... He's right. Bro, sir, do you plan on striking them? Bro, I'm not gonna fucking tell you. Dude, the media is so bad. They're so bad. They actually hate our country.
Conflict with Venezuela heats up. President Trump has pulled back the curtain, so to speak, on America's new plans to oust Maduro from power while facilitating the return of hundreds of thousands of Venezuelan nationals who recently saw their...
A lot of people don't know this, but right now, the left is rebelling against their own people because Zoran Mamdani, radical Islamist communist, so he said that Maduro is a corrupt dictator. And the leftoids are hating him because Maduro's a communist. Maduro is a communist dictator from Venezuela. This is the craziest thing ever. So look at how wild this is. Maduro is a communist dictator from Venezuela. Okay. Oh my god. And they're supporting him, and they're so shocked that Zoran Mamdani isn't. Let me see if I can find this clip. Yeah, here it is.
I wonder if you're reluctant to call them dictators in Cuba and Venezuela.
I'm not reluctant. I just haven't thought about them that often. I'll be honest with you. I think that Maduro's government is one of repression. There's no question about it.
And everyone's like, no, but he's a communist. What do you mean? Zoran, you were supposed to be our commie. You were supposed to be our commie good guy. Our good guy commie. I can't believe it. You were supposed to be our good guy communist, and now you're out here roasting other communist dictators? Oh my god.
That Maduro's government is one of repression. There's no question about it. And I think
in Cuba.
Yeah, I think that I kind of agree with Nux here, okay, a little bit, because, like, it is kind of annoying, okay? It's kind of annoying that liberals are upset about this. It's kind of annoying that Zoran said this shit in the first place, because, like, I'm not even gonna say he's wrong. It doesn't fucking matter. Not really. You're the mayor of New York. You're the mayor of New York. The campaign is over. Okay? You don't need to posture anymore. Now is the time for action. For policy in New York. Not fucking morally grandstanding on TV or a podcast or whatever the fuck this is.
The repression that, whether we're speaking about Cuban New Yorkers or Venezuelan New Yorkers, they've had to live through, is a repression that stands in clear contrast from what our vision is.
Dude, like, you won. Just stay out of the media. Okay, like, that's my message to Zoran. Like, yeah, like, you don't need to worry about re-election yet. Now's the time to get the fuck out of the media. And the reason why you want to stay out of the media isn't because you should be afraid of your political opposition. They're stupid. Their points are fucking stupid. But they're gonna try to corner you into talking about things that don't really fucking matter in an effort to manufacture outrage, which is exactly what happened here.
That he's actually only pro-Islam. He doesn't care about communism. He doesn't care about any of the leftist values that he preaches. At all. He only cares about importing infinite Muslims to take over. So that's why he has zero alliance.
Yeah, being a communist means that you have to love all communist, all communism, all of it. You have to. Yep. For sure, bro. Yeah. Yeah, but capitalism, that does not lead to tyranny. That does not lead to tyranny. Monopolies? What is that? What is that? That's not real. That doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Capitalism is so fair and so equal. It's so egalitarian. Communism leads to fucking consolidation of authority. Yeah, man, for sure. For sure.
Hardcore atheist worldview, without taking religious principles into consideration, everyone's the same, and therefore everyone must think the same way we do. They just have different financial technology. But if you actually try to look a little bit deeper, you'll realize that no, actually, this is a very, very obvious, intricate system that you can figure out exactly what's going on when you actually read their books, and you actually see what they say, and you actually see what they believe. So Venezuela is a communist narco regime that is propped up by cartels that only care about money. So if you could assume that that is their primary goal, then yeah, they absolutely are more than happy to kill as many Americans as they can if it means they can keep sex trafficking and drug trafficking in our country. Absolutely. When you talk about people like from Iran or people from other radical Muslim areas, they actually have a totally different goal. Money is not actually their goal. They don't care about money. They want healthcare in order to survive and leech off our land, absolutely. But the goal is conquest. So, you know, they're two diametrically opposed people. Now, the libtards will never understand that, and that's why the libtards are freaking out that Zoran Mamdani is anti-communist. I can't believe it. He's anti-dictatorship. That's anti-communist dictatorship. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. He's pro-Trump in regards to Trump's violence in Venezuela. Yes, of course he is.
Their temporary protected status in America expire. A reverse migration, which will only add to the upheaval being experienced by Venezuela, which is on the brink of war.
Meantime, he's also doubling down on his threats on Venezuela.
Because everyone in Venezuela hates Maduro. Everyone I've spoken to.
Just so you understand, when I've said this before. I've said this a lot over the last couple days, okay, because they keep saying it. Remigration is a term that I believe originated in Europe, okay, but it is just, it's like a stand-in for deportations, okay, that's it. It's just like a nicer way of saying deportations. And the reason that they're doing this is because of a lot of Americans, they hear the word deportation and they're like, I don't like what I'm seeing on the news. I don't like all of these brown people being brutalized and disappeared. So Americans are kind of like turned off to the word deportation, and that's why they're hitting the switch. Okay, they're flipping it. They're like, oh yeah, it's remigration. We're doing remigration.
Venezuela is praying Trump actually starts some sort of war.
With the possibility of taking action on land in that country, and perhaps very soon. In fact, this morning on Truth Social, he warned pilots and traffickers that they should consider the airspace above Venezuela to be closed.
Everything that is being done against Venezuela is to justify a war, regime change, and to steal our immense oil wealth.
Is this about getting rid of President Maduro?
No, this is about many things. This is a country that allowed their prisons to be emptied into our country. They sent people from their mental institutions into our country, and we're getting them out.
I mean, to be fair, these guys pose a much more direct threat to us than 90% of the Islamic terrorist organizations in the Middle East. These guys are directly killing us. Like, they're directly contributing to our death. Someone in my chat just said, I'm Venezuelan, I want the whole government dead. Damn. But that's crazy. The reality is, these people are directly affecting us. Directly. Negatively affecting us. Tens of thousands of people die from cocaine overdoses and fentanyl overdoses every year. In fact, leftists that are crashing out right now, it's very likely Venezuela that killed George Floyd. Ever consider that one? George Floyd, one of the main victims of the Venezuela cartel trafficking. That's right. I'm sorry. I didn't want to be that guy to tell you. But George Floyd is just another one of those helpless victims killed by fentanyl.
Family and myself, we are
We're
desperate.
doing this for George. That's right. We should put big George Floyd pictures on all of the American planes that are flying to Venezuela. For George! As they rise and fight against the true killers of George Floydius.
Because this happened so
Justice for George Floyd.
fast.
She is one of 260,000 Venezuelans who live and work in the United States as beneficiaries of temporary
These are the same people that will bitch and cry when you make a Charlie Kirk meme. Charlie Kirk joke. Okay. It's all George Floyd, LOL, he died of a fent overdose. But the second you say something about Charlie Kirk that deviates from the mainstream, not even the mainstream, but like the mainstream media narrative, okay, it's all like I can't believe you, like how dare you, you know, they pearl clutch, they clutch their pearls.
It starts
fucking stupid.
Before midnight, they will become undocumented immigrants.
No, they will become illegal aliens. Illegal aliens. Stop it. Dude, I don't understand. Temporary protective status. And everyone's like, no, why would you remove temporary protective status from all the Venezuelans? It was called temporary. And the temporary time has ended. I'm sorry, that must suck for you. But unfortunately, the world doesn't revolve around you.
On Venezuela in particular, are
George Floyd just wanted crack. He didn't want fentanyl, and now he's dead. And it's all because of Maduro. It's all because of Maduro.
Maduro's days as president numbered?
I would say yeah. I think so, yeah.
So if Maduro surrenders, where does he go? What country does he flee to? Some people say the Middle East.
Nicolas Maduro could end up in Qatar. Bro, it's always Qatar. But I'm telling you, Qatar is going to be one of the arch nemesis in the coming years. I don't know. It's getting really scary. They're funding our colleges, tens of billions of dollars funding our colleges every year. I'm just scared, man. They're setting up air bases. They're giving us planes. I don't know, bro. It's getting scary.
Others are saying Russia.
In fact, Tucker Carlson is in Qatar right now as we speak. I don't know if he's back yet. I think he's still there. That's right. He went and did an entire propaganda video visiting poor Gaza refugees in Qatar. Like, this dude doesn't care about foreign refugees in our country, but he does care about refugees from Gaza and Qatar. Bro, I'm telling you, this man is a giant walking propaganda monster. I don't know, man. This dude's scary. Yeah, he's a fed. He's a fed for real. That's my opinion. Holy shit. I think he's scary as fuck. He really is. He's a fake fuck. He really is.
But you know something? Nobody's talking about how Nicolas Maduro doesn't have to go anywhere if he just shuts.
I'm not gonna touch that. Okay, but well, except I will say, yeah, he's a fed. Yeah, he's a fucking fed. What? What, like, how do you think he keeps traveling internationally and meeting with all of these? You think it's because he's a media personality? You think because he's a media personality he was able to I'm not talking to Nux Taku here, but like, I mean, I don't know if he genuinely thinks Tucker is a fed, but like, yeah, he is. Like, his dad was the head of the propaganda department in the CIA. He was a lifelong CIA operative. It's crazy.
Down the cartel that he allegedly runs, which controls his entire country. But you see, the thing about that is it's not only alleged that Nicolas Maduro is the leader of the Cartel de las Solis, but also the Tren de Aragua gang, two criminal organizations with operations reaching as far as American sanctuary cities like Chicago.
Yeah, no, it's very likely that he's tied to all these people.
Where their illegal operations prop up his lavish lifestyle, while the people of Venezuela experience nothing even close to the American dream. Speaking of which, over 200,000 Venezuelan nationals that were living here in the United States just had their temporary status here expire, which means they now have to head home, and that could be another big problem for Maduro, and that alone might even force him from power. Or at least it'd be icing on the cake when you look at all of the military pressure on Venezuela from the United States, because this country has rigged the deck against it.
The funny thing is, I think Trump's ultimate plan is, hopefully, Maduro does get a regime change. I just think he wants to do it from foreign pressure, and then the actual country just oust him, have like a mini revolution and get rid of that guy. Because Venezuela is a foothold in our hemisphere for China, Iran, and Russia. They all work with Venezuela. Venezuela also is sending drugs and terrorists into our country. The reality is, I think from far, we blow up some of their boats, we position and grandstand in their seas, and hopefully they overthrow themselves. That's the goal. I really don't want to see boots on the ground in Venezuela. Just like I don't want to see boots on the ground in Iran. But also, I would love the Iran government getting overthrown. That would be fantastic, as long as it's done from their own people.
Its own citizens for so long. If it experienced a sudden population increase, this stronghold of socialism could collapse, leading to a reorganization of government that likely does not include one specific cartel kingpin. Which brings us to
socialism. A lot of people don't know this. Socialism, is inherently a violent tyrannical structure because someone needs to be in charge of where the money gets redistributed. So socialism cannot exist without a tyrant, and that's exactly what Maduro is.
So the real reason President Trump is putting so much pressure on Venezuela, the people of this country deserve a better future, one that's free from corruption and crime. And if the corruption and crime flowing out of this place disappears, the rest of the world is going to be better off, as sanctuary countries for criminals and fugitives do not add.
Right, let's be real. Trump is not doing this for the people of Venezuela. Okay, nor, this is my hot take, should Trump do this for the people of Venezuela. Trump is doing this because it's an absolute 100% massive benefit for us. It is a huge benefit for us. If A, we have access to the oil.
Yeah, it's so beneficial for us. Yeah, you know what's gonna help average Americans? The government stealing a bunch of fucking oil from Venezuela. Yeah, that's gonna really help average Americans, I'm sure. Because it helped us so much all of the other times that they stole oil from another country. Yeah, man. Yeah, so beneficial. Yeah, but anyway, I think it's pretty fucking clear that they're not doing this for the Venezuelans. What? Nobody thinks this. No, like, come on. We're in 2025. Like, nobody buys that anymore. We're doing it for the people. We're gonna liberate them. You know, that would have been the strat even just 5 years ago, you know, or 10 years ago. But now, no. No, that don't work. that's so over.
Criminals, terrorists, and drugs into our country, and B, it would be pretty fucking awesome. For all of those reasons.
To world peace, harmony, or prosperity, as their only goal is to prey upon the law-abiding wherever they find them, whether it's in their home country or far from its border, like this.
According to a post on their Facebook page, Hawaii County says a total of 44 people were arrested as a result of 6 federal search warrants that were executed at multiple homes and 1 business on the Garden Isle. Hawaii County says among those arrested were 2 suspected associates of the foreign terrorist organization the ISRÆLI, based in Venezuela.
How did they get to Hawaii? And how are they there?
Because honestly, I think that's a lot more than we know. I think a lot of these people with temporary protective status in America, or that used to have temporary protective status in America, I think a lot of these Venezuelans are actually agents and operatives that are more than happy to send money back to the homeland here, that are more than happy to be footholds for other people that are coming into our countries, that are more than happy to help traffic certain things around. I mean, we know that the guy, the Maryland man that was deported, whatever his name is, Dilmar Abrego Garcia, that guy was a human trafficker, as well as a member of a terrorist organization, as well as a white beater. And the
Liar.
Still defended that guy. They still ran
Those are all lies.
44 other people in some organization that is so far from Venezuela. Now, of course, the vast majority of Venezuelan nationals in the United States did not come here to be gang members or criminals, but because of a lack of vetting at the U.S. southern border, it seems criminals exploited this situation in ways we're still finding out about, making their way to every corner of our nation, something the president is right to call out.
Venezuela's been very bad. Venezuela's been really bad at something else. Probably worse than most, but a lot of other people do it too. They would empty their jails into our country. They send people into our country that we don't.
Their perspective. It makes sense. Think about it. Why should they keep their criminals in their jails that they have to fund their way of life if they could just release them to the United States? And that's exactly what Biden wanted to do. It's literally a win-win. Biden, and whoever was actually running the country over Biden's term, wants the border open to import infinite illegals into our country so that they can win elections, rig the amounts of seats that different Democrat states actually get. And I mean, we see what's going on here. So much of Trump's attention is just on this immigration thing, and he can't get anything done.
What? That's because you guys were doing it. By you guys, I mean Republicans. By you guys, I mean, like, Republican representatives, okay? Like, yeah, Democratic representatives are doing this now, too. Okay? But what happened in Texas? What happened in Texas, Nuxtaku? You know, why are the Democrats doing gerrymandering after we did a fuck ton of gerrymandering in Texas like 2 seconds ago?
which is terrible.
It's a mystery.
It would go way harder, but the reality is this was a win-win. The Biden regime wanted to import infinite illegals to conquer and democratically conquer our country, and the Venezuela didn't want to pay for their prisons and wanted to actually have operational agents across the United States for trafficking purposes. Isn't that great? Isn't that fantastic, guys? Wow, win-win. They get to release their prisoners, and the only people that actually lose out of this are the white people that are getting raped and murdered, and the different countries and ghettos that are have overdose rates increasing, and George Floyd, Georgius Floydius. This is truly
want. They sent people from their mental institutions into our country, and we're getting them out.
The president's right. Venezuela has not been very nice to the United States. And you know something? It's about time somebody did something about this. As this country's enabled criminals to enter our country along with their own citizens whose lives were ruined by those very same criminals. A terrible situation, but now things have changed. Rende Aragua is on the ropes along with the Venezuelan government, and there's now talk of Maduro suddenly fleeing the country and vanishing, leaving behind a shattered shell of a country that's been off limits to its own people for decades.
Verified that Maduro had reached out over the course of the past week and a half or so to potentially float the idea of his departure. And his possibly immediate family and possibly
Bro is scared as fuck.
Some close senior personnel around him. Whether that's true or not, it really is the goal of this entire situation, right? Is to get him to make that decision on his own, or to get his circle of advisors to tell him, now it's time for you to go.
Damn. Circle of advisors. The people telling him, all right, you gotta go, it's too dangerous, we're gonna get overthrown, live out the rest of your life in a penthouse in Qatar. Goddamn. I'm surprised that America doesn't just, knock him off. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if Israel could take out all the leaders of the Iranian army, all right, over the course of like 30 minutes, just pop, 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 I mean, they all just die, all right? I'm surprised Trump is benevolent enough not to just get rid of him. I'll be real, just like knock him off, see what happens from there. That'd be crazy. That'd be insane. Not saying that he should or shouldn't or anything like that, but I would not shed tears. I would not shed tears like the liberals who would. I think the liberals need to awaken their militant forces of BLM infiltrators into Maduro's regime to take revenge for George Floyd. I feel like that could really help.
Circle of advisors. Are we supposed to believe that he surrounds himself with advisors who give him advice?
He orders out loot
Give
every
it a
small
rest,
business
man.
in Venezuela. Leave no target unburned, bro.
That he hasn't already decided he wants. I don't know if he has advisors who disagree with him a whole lot. But with the country's airspace now completely closed, this nation, which has unlimited potential thanks to its vast natural resources like oil, is now essentially frozen. A country cannot function if its waterways are closed and its airspace is closed.
Yeah, no, they're gonna feel the heat really, really bad. A lot of people are saying, oh my god, I can't believe Trump's blowing up boats. But just the idea that we're surrounding Venezuela. In Venezuela, their entire ecosystem, because again, it's a socialist shithole at this point. Anything that's socialist cannot survive on its own because there's no incentive for anyone to actually work. They only survive based on their impact on other countries, right? Russia, China, Iran, other people that want to buy their oil, ways that they can traffic their drugs into other countries. Like, this is how they make money, essentially. They're at a actual impasse, standstill, just because we surrounded them. And we're only surrounding them for our defense, totally not to cause a regime change or anything.
Okay, so this is not true. People in Venezuela do work, obviously. Okay. What he's talking about is the primary way that Venezuela makes money is by trading with other countries. Okay, crazy, I know. You see, they have all this oil, and the oil industry was nationalized in Venezuela, meaning the government, seized it. They seized all the oil. Okay, now they did this for several reasons, very understandable reasons, in fact. But I'm not going to get into all of that right now, because it's a different topic entirely. But they make money by trading this oil with other countries. That's what they do. Just like any other country. With any natural resources. With anything. The fuck are you
We're
talking
just
about?
surrounding them because we don't want you to be trafficking drugs into our country anymore. Absolutely not to stress the shit out of you guys. Bro, that's so base. It's so base. We're literally destroying them because their country can't sustain itself without supporting terrorism.
And the entire country is essentially in limbo. And if the criminals want to stay here, they can do so, but they're going to be monitored by U.S. assets out at sea and in the air, leaving them with no choice but to surrender. I'm surprised they haven't surrendered yet.
Do you have any doubt that one way or another, Maduro goes and goes soon?
Yeah, I don't see how he keeps this going. I mean, I think he's also looking at the idea of, does Venezuela have any leverage? Does his regime have any leverage? A card to play, perhaps? And that would, of course, be revolving around the oil, right? That's their top resource. Now, the Maduro regime and the Chavez regime before it, they've driven this country into the ground. And so, there's a possibility that, he could play that card and say as a transaction.
I don't believe that for 1 second. This is a socialist dictatorship. And look at this. Who's going to trust them? They nationalized their oil industry in 1976.
Also, they arrest all their political opponents. I'm pretty sure that one of Maduro's political opponents was just killed in a prison. Like, bro, it's insane.
This action brought
You want to scream about capitalism? Left boys scream about capitalism. Trump's fascism. Dude, this is an actual fascism.
Oil companies and 17 related businesses, including subsidiaries of Exxon, Shell, and Mobil, under government control. They stole private businesses and just took them over. Yeah, what? No one's going to believe them if they say, yeah, come on in.
No. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? What was up with
Bring your
that?
businesses in, and we'll work something out. You can't trust these guys. They have zero leverage. Let's be clear about something else. The U.S. doesn't even want Venezuela's oil because right next to Venezuela, you've got a country called Guyana. This is a free country which speaks English and also has a ton of oil. And those same companies that Venezuela took over 40 years ago.
So let me get this straight. When a country takes over its own oil reserves, right, its own resources, when a country does this, when they take their resources from a company that is extracting those resources for themselves, okay, when a country does that, that's stealing. But when America fucking raids an oil tanker, takes control of it, and sails it to wherever the fuck they feel like, that's not stealing. Gotcha.
Guess what? They're breaking ground in Guyana right now. That country's about to become incredibly prosperous. And guess what? The U.S. isn't there taking it over. Trump administration doesn't have troops in Guyana stealing their oil. No, there's a great arrangement going on there between private businesses and the Guyanese people, and it's going to make their country rich. If you can trust Venezuela, maybe you can work something like that out. Perhaps if a new government comes into Venezuela, a government which is friendly to world peace and its own people and doesn't want to steal businesses, maybe something could be worked out. Then that would really turn Venezuela around. That would bring wealth to its people. The only question is, will that happen before their dear leader brings airstrikes down upon his own country?
Nicolas Maduro regularly says that the U.S. wants to oust him.
Everything that is being done against Venezuela is to justify a war, regime change, and to steal our immense oil wealth.
To be fair, we just got one of their giant oil tankers, but that was their fault. That's what we call a skill issue. Yep, sorry man. I know that sucks for you, but that's where we're at.
Which is the largest oil reserve and the fourth largest gas reserve in the world.
Right.
Maduro, who's been in power since 2013, is no stranger to repressing opposition and dissent.
Really?
And it's the escalation with the U.S. he's mobilized Venezuela's troops, all the while continuing to benefit from the military support of nations like Russia.
You know what? Typical communists. You give them a prosperous country with vast natural resources, and what do? They run that place into the ground and just turn it into a total disaster. This didn't make anyone rich. The people of Venezuela have not been made prosperous by their country's vast natural resources and their socialist government, which claims to be looking out for them and claims to have their best interest at heart. Far from it. The place is such a disaster. We've got 250,000 people from that country living in the United States that had to stay here for a few years while the place stabilized. It was in free fall for a while there, which is why this whole TPS thing happened to begin with. And now it's time for people to head back. But since this country's already falling apart, can't take care of the people it has, if 250,000 new folks show up tomorrow, I mean, what's going to happen? That could be the end. Plus, these are folks who've experienced freedom in America.
True, 100%. Dude, someone just sent me this link. This is a U.S. senator from Virginia. Obviously, a left-wing freak. But dude, Mark Warner, dude, I'm actually in shock that he tweeted this. So U.S. seizes oil tanker off Venezuela bound for Cuba, all right? More communist dictatorship to communist dictatorship, hand jobs going between the two. And the U.S. seized it, all right? Look at this. So they can seize an oil tanker but not a drug boat. Dog, they could have blown up the oil tanker if that would have made you happier. But aren't you supposed to care about the environment? Like, aren't these people supposed to care about the environment? You wanted them to just waste all the oil instead of, first of all, we should keep it. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted, bro. He wanted them to blow up the oil tanker. Yeah. Yeah, clearly that's what this person meant in their tweet. Yeah. Yeah. The point totally wasn't that we shouldn't blow up random people. Okay, it was actually that we should blow up more random people. That's what he was saying.
Absolutely, that's basically fuck, sure. That's perfect. Second of all, you want us to blow up the oil tanker? You want us to do an oil leak?
Yeah, you want us to blow up the oil tanker.
Paper straws, paper straws. Anyway, blow up oil tankers. Bro, this is fucking crazy. Bro, these commies are retarded.
These are people who've experienced the outside world and have seen how much better things could be when a government does its best to work on behalf of the people, like our government has been doing for this year. The idea that you're going to have a massive number of people head home to Venezuela and just put up with a dictatorship, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen.
But you're right. We have launched attacks against other nations who had harbored terrorists, who had given terrorists sanctuary.
Yep.
But I find that to be a little bit different than the current situation. I think the president would do well to present the evidence that we have to the American people. We're a bit wary, I think, U.S. citizens, of engaging in foreign conflicts.
Right.
We saw what happened in Iraq and Afghanistan, where we didn't have a real clear handle on what our strategic objectives were.
Yeah, our strategic objective was to waste money and have a forever war that enriched a military-industrial complex. At least
that's the only thing left with the war party. To make it clear, like if you think about it, all these wars that we're dealing with now,
Oh my god.
And also,
Oh my god. Oh my god. They're really trying to do this. They're like, hey, this war that we're starting, actually, it's the leftists that are the war hawks. They're the warmongers. Yeah, man. Okay.
Close to getting ended under Biden. Like, he hasn't ended a single war.
President of peace.
It's my personal opinion on that, but Venezuela's different. We're not going to have to put troops in Venezuela. A few airstrikes would end this whole cartel sanctuary thing once and for all. We know where these places are. We've got satellites. We've got intelligence. If they've got, a whole bunch of places scattered throughout the country, if airstrikes take all of those out at once, precision strikes that only...
This is the Alex Jones approach. Okay, we have intelligence everywhere. We know everything. We are omnipotent gods.
People who have nothing to do with the bad guys, the whole thing ends.
Man.
There's not going to be criminals running around in the open. They're not going to be moving freely throughout this country, and I bet you that right there causes this Maduro to just get on a jet, pack his bags, and poof, he's out of there.
And so that's what you see here. This show of force, this military there is not there to kill speedboats. It's there to demonstrate to Maduro that it's in your best interest to voluntary leave.
Yeah, right.
The president has already made up his mind, I believe, that regime change is what is called for here. And so our viewers understand. In 1989, President George H.W. Bush directed a regime change.
Why was he sipping on his drink like that?
He felt completely justified
that
in
felt
physically
strange.
removing him from power by conducting an invasion to do that regime change. In 94, just Just a few years later, President
was
Clinton
like-
did much the same thing, dealing with Haiti when a military dictator took over and removed the democratically elected president. The mission was to restore that democratically elected president to power. That was Aristide.
crazy?
So, okay, we have past precedent in our hemisphere, in our sphere of influence, that did not turn into
Wonder what he's sipping
Iraq-style confrontations forever.
Everyone's freaking out about it. It's crazy.
Or, if you want to call it that, President George H.W. Bush, President Clinton, and now possibly President Trump. The very same thing could happen here. And there's a component to all of this that people are forgetting. Who just won the Nobel Peace Prize? Who was it? It was the Venezuelan opposition leader. And we're supposed to think that this alleged cartel kingpin, Maduro, is better equipped to run his country into the ground than the Nobel Peace Prize.
Bro, it's not about well-equipped. He's a communist dictator. It has nothing to do with being equipped. They don't care about being equipped. That's a joke. Dude, you don't understand the way this is being covered. So the U.S. forces seized sanctioned Venezuela oil tanker off the coast, okay? So the authorities took control of the skipper tanker sanctioned in 2022, 4 links to the foreign terrorist organization. It had 2 million barrels of oil, okay? So we understand that, right? That's a fact. The fact is, it's tied to terrorist organizations. It needed to be stopped. Attorney General Pam Bondi highlighted the involvement of the FBI, Homeland Security, Coast Guard, and the Department of War support. President Trump called it the largest such seizure, joking about keeping the oil base, while emphasizing routine enforcement against Maduro's invasion tactics. Venezuela condemned the move as piracy, obviously, because Venezuela is a fucking bullshit country.
So they are saying it was terrorist. Okay. Okay, my bad. My bad. Of course. Why? What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Of course there were terrorists on the boat. Oh, my bad. Sorry. Oh, there were terrorists on the boat. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, well now it's okay. There were weapons of mass destruction on the boat. The Epstein files were on the boat.
Literally, yes. Those people kidnap random people. They kidnap and torture random people. Okay, yes. Quite literally, yes. This is not random people. This is an oil tanker that's tied and funding and supporting terrorist organizations. It's like it's all about the oil act. And the retards are losing their minds. I can't believe it.
The U.S. famously never kidnaps anyone. And never tortures anyone. Yo, advanced interrogation techniques? What's that? That's not real. I never heard of her.
I agree. Hell yes. Yeah, fuck terrorists. That's my position. That's what your position is. Fuck terrorists. You know who agrees with me? Marco Rubio. In fact, he's even more based about this tonight, and I think he's completely right.
Not only do we not recognize 50-something countries around the world do not recognize.
But if you think he's right, then wouldn't you be as based as he is?
By the way, that was the policy of the Biden administration. That was the policy of the first Trump administration. And that's the policy of 50-something countries, including multiple countries in the region, do not recognize him as the president of that country. What he is someone who's empowered himself of some of the instruments of the government, and they're using that to operate a drug cartel from Venezuelan territory. Much of that drug is aimed at reaching the United States. So we're not going to have a cartel operating, masquerading as a government, operating in our own hemisphere. He's indicted. He's a fugitive of American justice. There's a reward out for his capture. And by the way, related to that, the President of the United States made clear that he's not going to allow that cartel or any other cartel to operate in impunity in our hemisphere and send drugs towards the United States. And he's going to use the U.S. military and all the elements of American power to target cartels or target America.
Isn't that like the most basic, honest to God stance of all time? Like, how can we even disagree with something like that? Apparently, this oil tanker is part of the shadow fleet. Dude, it's crazy, man.
Prize winner is to restore it, make it better, bring prosperity and peace to this people. Do we really think she's going to come in, if she were to come in and form a new government or run it in some way, and be worse than Nicolas Maduro? Absolutely not. Yeah, we've got the progressives and the socialists here in American politics that are saying, oh, Trump is terrible. There's no evidence that Venezuela is a terrible place. He calls this gentleman a dictator, but that's not true. I mean, it's like these people are just, I don't know what.
No, they're actually retarded. They are actually retarded. That's the craziest part.
He's conducting a comprehensive campaign. The ships, the airplanes, and the rest of it is focused on Maduro principally, but the campaign is much larger than that.
Yeah, well,
and I applaud the efforts. I mean, we've been wringing our hands about this for years.
Right.
They're not doing much about it.
No, I think
and
you're
here,
so right.
clearly, we want Maduro to voluntarily get out of there. But the president has a lot of options, and certainly Maduro is much aware of what those options are.
Yeah,
much of what happens here is likely more in Maduro's hands than anybody else's.
Right, so it's up to him. He could end this whole thing tomorrow.
Yeah, right. He just needs to retire and leave.
I offered peace to Warsaw 5 times.
And not letting you operate as a terrorist.
Leave town.
We are so cooked,
For him to say,
bro.
okay, yeah, I'm gonna get serious about crime in my country, and when we're gonna open up a force for those people.
It's the same shit over and over again. It's the same shit. Oh, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. Okay, they were always doing the hard way. They were always gonna do the hard way. Okay, if you weren't picking up what I was putting down there, okay, they always say this. They always say, oh, I tried to offer peace. I tried, they just wouldn't take it. They just wouldn't take it. I had to do it. Fucking Hitler did this. George W. Bush did this. Donald Trump is doing this right now. His administration is saying this. This is what they're all saying.
He's gonna trust me.
This
He
is what they
says,
say.
you know what? I'll work with everybody. I want to restore peace and prosperity to my people. Bring in outside businesses. Let's make a deal. Let's fix my country up. And then what? In 4 years, we've got some new U.S. president. And what happens? They take everything back over again and just use the money and prosperity they achieved temporarily to continue their regime. I think we're past the point of that. I don't think any kind of leverage even exists for Venezuela. I guess the only question now is, are we going to see something more happen in this country? Will there be precision strikes which eliminate the cartel infrastructure here? Why would Mr. Maduro have any reason to stay? I don't think he would. I think he would hightail it out of there the second that happens.
Now, a lot of people don't know this. This is crazy. I didn't know this. They're called the Shadow Fleet. The Shadow Fleet refers to this name network of countries, the older, often uninsured, or poorly insured oil tankers, vessel sanctions, countries like Russia, Venezuela, North Korea, used to evade international sanctions and export oil or other restricted goods. These ships deploy defensive tactics, seal their activities, improving automatic identification systems, ship transfer, international water defense cargo, offline documents, operations that with transfer financing, increasing business skills, collision, environmental standards, etc. They appear prominently during to invasion trade, etc. And this oil trade that Trump propagated, yes, was part of the Shadow Fleet. It was previously identified as the skipper. It is explicitly part of the global Shadow Fleet. That's the craziest part, man. And despite this fact, this objective fact of obviously Maduro being like, wow, Trump's a pirate. I can't believe Trump's a pirate for stealing oil. And he has senators in Virginia. No, leave the oil tanker alone. Leave the oil tankers alone. And the leftoids are protesting for Venezuela. All the leftoid freaks are calling this an act of piracy and terrorism. I can't believe Trump would. How dare Trump confiscate the oil? He should have just blown it up in the sea or something. Ladies, gentlemen, leftists that are, who knows, whichever they call themselves these days. Fuck you. I fully support killing terrorists. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fan.
Stay weird, fan. Alright, anyway, this should be live right now, is it? Oh, at 2 p.m.? Wait, it's 2:30. What? Did I miss it? Oh, I think they're just running late. Uh-oh, Mr. President. Oh, okay. Alright. Well, actually, this looks kind of lame. So, we're actually not going to look at this bull.